We've been talking over these last few devotions about this idea of our worldview being the biblical meta-narrative, creation, fall, redemption, and restoration, and looking at this from the perspective of creation is God making things as they ought to be. Fall resulted in the world as it is, dealing with the brokenness and sin. And redemption, Jesus coming and dying so that we could be redeemed and become members of God's family, be in a right relationship with Him. We're in this period of time now where we need to think about what can we do to cooperate with the Holy Spirit to work toward God's redemptive purposes, knowing that one day all things will be restored. That is something that we can bank on. And so as we think about these things, what can we do to cooperate with God's redemptive purposes in the world as we live in the midst of sin and brokenness? What can we do? I want to look at this idea that Peter talks about, that we can use the gifts that God has given us to benefit His body and to extend that benefit into the world. In 1 Peter chapter 4, starting in verse 10, Peter says, "As each one has received a special gift, employ it in serving one another as good stewards of the manifold grace of God. Whoever speaks is to do so as one who is speaking the utterances of God. Whoever serves is to do so as one who is serving by the strength which God supplies, so that in all things God may be glorified through Jesus Christ, to whom belongs the glory and dominion forever and ever." I think these verses tell us a few things. One, it tells us that we've each received a gift from God, that we've each received a gift by the Holy Spirit that we can use in serving more than ourselves. We can use it in serving God. We can use it in serving one another. That we are called to be stewards. That means that we will give an account for how we manage the gifts that God has given us. And then we're to do that not for self-acclamation. We're to do that so that God would be glorified. We're to speak as though we're speaking the utterances of God. We're to serve not in our own strength, not by our own power, not for our own glory, but in the strength that God provides so that Jesus will get the glory, thereby moving that pull that we talked about from the pull of sin toward that, back toward the way things ought to be, the way things will be when all things are restored. So today I would encourage you to think about, what gifts has God given me? How has God enabled me to serve His body and to serve the people around me? How has God gifted me to maybe do something that not everyone can do? How has God given me this special abilities? How has the Holy Spirit revealed to me that this is what I was made for? And then once you kind of have an idea of what that gift is, using it, trying it out. If you're not sure, I think there are things that are on the church website that can help you with discerning your spiritual gift. There are people around you who can walk you through a process of thinking about what your gifts are and definitely how you can use them. So I would encourage you today, know what your gifts are and then take a step to put them into practice for God's glory.